All right, we've gone live, guys. Just press the go live button. Just testing my sound, waiting for it to come through on the second screen. Then we're into another Shroom live podcast, and it's going to be a special one, but I'll let the stream catch up first. There we go. So it looks like everything's going ahead. Everything's smooth as per normal. All right, now let's get that chat going there. All right, so what have we got here? We've got Nathan. He's already in the house here. So Nathan's land-based fishing. He says, so excited. Love the podcast, dude. Thank you very much. So it's going to be a big night tonight. This is just the preliminaries at this stage. Gonna wait for the crowd to build up. I might have clicked on it a little bit too early to start. I'm just going to go head over to Facebook and just check whether that is live too on the Shroom page and also on the Sydney fishing page. And it looks like... Yes, it looks like it's working there on Sydney Fishing. And also, let's just quickly check the Shroom page. And there's 2 watching there already. Okay, excellent. And what about YouTube? So all you guys over on YouTube land. All right, so yeah, all right. So crowd's already building up. Oh, there we go. All right, I can see it now. Now, where is my screen? It's gone. All right, there we go. Donna Fish Raider, she says, good evening all. I'm glad Donna can make it tonight. It's the one. This is a show for her. This is a good one. Let's see who else is in the house. Dejan Stankovic. He says, "Hey Shroom." Finn O'Neill, another familiar face, says hi. Philip, how's it going? He says, "Yo, all right." Philip, hope you had a good week. So back to back Shroom lives. So hope you guys are enjoying the show. Looking for one more member to unlock one of the emojis. I get one more slot if I can get one more member. And I know that the Shroom Club members are going to be on here tonight too, showing their support. And guys, while I'm just getting through this, if you're watching on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Google Podcasts, and you want to go straight to, which is, the name of the show right here, which is, we're going to be talking Deckee and boating with Mike McKiernan, the CEO from Deckee. Fast forward to 30 minutes. Because I'm just going to be talking a little bit of fishing fluff for the next half an hour. So if you're listening on the podcast, and go straight there right now. But anyway, back to the chat right here. So while I'm getting set up, guys, come up with your questions. We're going to answer them as we always do on a Saturday evening. And I already see that we've got Mario, JB, Morny, Anthony Cox, the Shroom Club member, says, "Hi, Pete. How's it going, Anthony? How's your fishing? How's that going?" Excellent results the other day when you told me about slaying those flatties up in the bay on those prawn lures. That was fantastic. I've never had a session like that before that I can recall, at least in the past year. Tim Rosenthal says, "Hey, Shroomer, how's it going, buddy? Hope you're enjoying everything that there is available." And tonight, like I said, we're going to be talking about Deckee, about the app and why it's important and how it can aid in your understanding and assist you in your boating and also in your fishing as well. So that's going to be really interesting. So asking Mike, he knows everything about the app that he's produced. He's the best person to ask. And I represent Deckee as an ambassador. So just to put that out there, I really believe in the product. Walker 2508 says, "Hi guys." That's right. If you guys are familiar, just go ahead, talk amongst yourselves in the chat as well. There's a community of fishermen all over Sydney, all over Australia, really. And yeah, you guys can go buck wild in the chat there. All right, so let's keep going down, see who else is in the house. Zach Stevens says, "Bass fishing anytime soon." You know what? With this weather, it's probably put a dampener on, on the urge to head out to the freshwater systems right now. I don't know if they're looking clear and clean in some of the rivers. There must be a lot of mud running off the banks into the fresh right now. So yeah, I'm not too sure, but definitely the bass bite has been on. So I'm hoping to head out maybe the Hawkesbury way, chase some bass on surface lures in the next little bit. Summer's the best time to do it. The bass bite is strong throughout the warmer months when the water temperature starts to creep up a bit. Their eyes, they're looking up in the water system, and yeah, catching them on surface, fantastic, awesome fun. I haven't done a video on that for a while, so yeah, something I really want to get into, and a few other things too that you guys have asked and requested for. Maybe even a catch and cook, but it won't be a bass. Not that you can't keep a bass, but I think I'll do something a little bit towards the ocean side. All right, sick headset, says Nathan. Same one I've been using from day one. It's a Sennheiser. Just want a gaming headset. That's why it's got that microphone on the side, which I don't even use anyway. Alf Torna Torre, I think it is. Shroom Club member, g'day, mate. He says, hi, Shroom, great to see you live. Oh, thank you very much. All right, let's keep going down. Now, during this week, while you guys get your questions in, I've been putting in time into trying to get that vlog going with the Berkeley power bait shrimps. You know, those 2-inch ones that, it was on everyone's lips because it's, brand new and exciting. And I really had a good time in the first session, but as you guys know, I lost that video. I lost that vlog. Unbelievable. We did catch quite a few brim in that session, and flatties especially. So that's why I raised the question with you guys, saying how you found, how you guys found those lures, to what species you were able to tempt with that. Personally, for me, with the second vlog you saw on Thursday, the flathead just, they couldn't ignore that lure, could they? They just hopped straight on. I actually haven't even counted how many that were landed in that session. They're all, they weren't massive, all of them, but they're all along the bank. It was a rainy day, fishing in the rain next to the boat ramp, and just casting against that pontoon. We got that brim, but other than that, it was just flatty after flatty after flatty. No 3 meteries like you guys would have hoped, but maybe one day, maybe the bigger version. I was using only the 2-inch, so maybe the 3-inch or the 4-inch would do the damage there. So that was interesting. Now I may do another session regarding that because I think there's quite a few prawns in the system right now, at least before the rains. Now with the 20 to 40 mils, I think it was, that we've had in the past day or so, I think that's pushed the bait down the river, down the system. So not quite sure where the bait is at this stage. But I'd say give it a couple of days. The harbor, I mean, the harbor can take heaps of rain. It's the Georgia system that doesn't seem to fare too well, at least in my experiences. And just to make sure that we're all live here. Yes, Donna, we should be live. I can see myself. Yes, that's right. Definitely live. I mean, the chat couldn't go. I mean, the chat wouldn't be able to start if it wasn't live, unless something has gone wrong. I just double check. I'm paranoid now, but numbers are looking good. It says that we're getting audience from 3 places, so it looks like everything's fine. But let me just double check over here. Just head on over to Facebook land, and there's a couple of guys there. Jorge, he's on Facebook right now. He says some stuff. What's happening, bro? Well, I'm just checking the stream. All right, good to see you there. And Will is there too. Yeah, I think we're all good. So back to regular programming here. Finn O'Neill's got a question for me. He says, favorite hard body for the flathead. I think there's plenty of good hard bodies for flathead, but there's one in particular that has caught me heaps in one of the previous vlogs, and that was a Daiwa double clutch. I was using the 75mm version in the black. It was a matte black with a red-orange belly, and I was fishing in the murky waters up the rivers in the Parramatta River system. And if you watch that, and if you can recall, there was quite a few fish that day. To my surprise, I knew it would definitely tempt the flatties, but in that murky water with that strong thumping action, it absolutely hammered and made that session a memorable one. So I would say that's probably my favorite hard body at this stage for the flatties. I was using the 75mm suspending. If you're really targeting them, I recommend using maybe even the 95 or the 80, just a slightly larger profile, so that you don't risk losing, your hard-earned dollars on a really expensive hard body, because they can hit it, with enough force to just completely engulf that offering. And that brings me to another lure too. So the Berkeley ProTech brims 38mm deep in that watermelon red color, that matte green with black spots and the orange red, the juicy part of the watermelon. You know what I'm talking about. They don't call it watermelon, I don't think. I can't remember whether they called it watermelon red, but that's, you guys know that color, what that means on my channel. So I'm just going to call it that, watermelon red. And unbelievable. that is called the Brims 38, and it slays the flathead. And I think that as a beginner, that's one of the easiest lures that you guys could use. You could literally just cast it. If you can cast it, you just got to wind it. I mean, in that video, I wasn't doing anything special really. Get 20 meters cast, maybe, deciding where you're going to cast it so that you won't snag up, immediately. That's probably the main thing. And yeah, before I continue on to that, I want to bring up this donation from the Destroyer Boy. Now, where is my chat? I'm so bad today. There we are. Excuse me. That's just a cough to clear the throat. Not under any effects of any virus. But Christopher, thank you very much for supporting the Shroom Live podcast. Hope you're enjoying the show. And also, I'd like to give a shout out to Jorge, who's dropped $5, a Shroom Club member. He says, beer for anyone who joins the channel. Let's keep them flowing. All right. I wonder if anyone's gonna do that, gonna live up to that challenge, Jorge. Thank you very much. You're a big supporter of the channel, and I really appreciate that. All right, guys, let's continue. Next couple of questions. Let's keep this rolling. I can't believe with half an hour, with only a scheduled half an hour podcast at least for my segment, we're already nearly halfway through it, and we've just barely started. So you guys know it's going to be a cracker show. So yeah, definitely stick around. We've got plenty of. So this is the entertaining part, maybe a bit educational, but the next part, I promise you, is going to be extremely educational when Mike McKiernan comes on. And yeah, I'm really excited because we've talked about it. We're both really keen to well, at least I'm really keen to have a chat with him, and then he's really keen to show you what this app's all about. And guys, it's free, so not selling out here. Let's go. Wait, where am I? Oh, you guys know I always get lost in the chat, and that's something I'm really good at. Donna says it's okay, Pete. Very, very clear. All right, that's good. Yeah, I'm always paranoid. I went once. All the OGs will remember. I talked once for 10 minutes straight, and there was no sound. And I couldn't even tell because the numbers on the stream never went down. So I absolutely couldn't tell that I was silent. So you guys have to shout if anything goes wrong. Just start pinging me, sending me messages through Insta or YouTube, especially, will come straight up, the notification. Now, before I find the next question, I want to give a shout out to Terry, my boy Terry Coria over there. You guys know him. He's on the channel. He's a regular on the vlogs. Yeah, we've got some really good ideas this summer. You guys have requested some videos relating to rock fishing. I think that together we're gonna take the Shroom into uncharted territories. I'm gonna be the biggest newbie when it comes to rock fishing, but I know that I'm in good hands with Terry. So, guys, yeah, definitely stay tuned for that. Andrew May, what a question. What's your ideal perfect conditions for fishing? Well, I was only asked this question about a week and a half ago on the Australian Fishing podcast. The Australian Lure Fishing Podcast. I got to get that name straight. You guys know him. The premier podcast, Greg Vinyl, Doc Lewis. And he asked me that question. And I said, you know what, Greg, hand me a day that's overcast. There's a tide that's going to reach, high tide in a little bit. There's a little bit of wind and chop on the water. Not too strong, not too strong. Rain keeps, rain staying away. And with that light breeze, that little chop on the water, the fish aren't as wary, and maybe fish, the start of the morning and then head throughout the day and just fish the day. And they're my perfect conditions, really. Bit of rain here and there, the week before. That's always good. It kind of puts a little bit of color in the water. So the fish definitely do like to scavenge around and see anything that's ended up in the system from the banks. And so they're not as selective. They're not tuned into one specific bait or, bait fish profile or prawns. You guys know some fish like kingfish and salmon, once say the jelly prawns are running, that's all they're chasing. They're not chasing anything else. You'll find it hard to tempt them on any lure that's of substantial size. All right. Did I just miss something here? All right. He's already come back twice now. Let me just go put that up. Got to salute to, sorry, that's not Jorge. That's Anthony Cox. Oh, my bad. Anthony, Thank you very much. He says $5 for the beers. You guys trying to get me drunk or something even before the next time is starting? Thank you. Thanks a lot, Jorge. Anthony, oh my gosh, what's going on? But you guys know this is live, so anything could happen. A slip of the tongue, say something that will get the stream banned in the next second. But you know, I'm pretty good with that, so we're just got to continue on. Thanks again, Anthony. Really appreciate that. Dejan says, I'm going for redfin on my Christmas holiday. Does anyone have some knowledge on what lures to use? Look, I think that there's definitely a few freshwater fishermen in the chat right here. I've actually done quite a bit of redfin fishing, even though there hasn't been a single video on the channel. I find that you need something loud, you need something red or green, something that might resemble redfin itself. Big paddle tails do work, small paddle tails, spinners. I think ultimately they're not that fussy. They kind of work together in a little group, and they're like a pack attack. So once you get one interested, they're all jockeying behind for your lure. I mean, sometimes, yes, you're going to have to be a little bit more particular in your presentation, but I would say that just go ahead and start with a grub first, and then see if that's going to get you the desired result. If not, start changing it up to loud, brash lures, hard bodies, divers, spinners. Yeah, you name it. They're not that fussy from what I've seen. And yeah, if you're going to use a grub like the same size as what you would use for brim fishing, you don't have to use a 1/16 ounce and finesse that bite. Go ahead and tie on a 1/8 jig head. There may be a slightly larger hook too, because they're an implosion feeder. They don't have the really tiny mouths like, yellowfin and black brim do. So yeah, kind of treat them a little bit like bass in a way, but yeah, they do school up, and they school up hard. And yeah, use light gear too, because redfin, they don't grow very big. Like if I catch one that is even around the 30 centimeter range or mid 30s, I know that's like a ripper of a redfin. And by the way, DJ, where are you going? Let's go find the next question here. But yeah, before I do that, I think I missed something. Jeez, I'm really bad. But anyway, that's why, because it's live. Outback Fisherman says, how you going, everyone? Thanks for the support. Really appreciate that. I think everyone's having a good time so far. Just a little bit more of me, about 12 more minutes, guys. So get your questions in. And yeah, then we're going to be talking about Deckee and boating with Mike McKiernan. So it's going to be really good. So stick around for that. Jorge says, woohoo, go Outback. Yep, that's right. Army Rain's got a question. Have you caught giant trevally? I have caught giant trevally. I've caught giant trevally up in Weipa, but I wouldn't call them giants. They were the estuary-sized giant trevally. So they were only about a 25 to about a 45, 50 centimeter class of fish. The GTs that you're talking about, they're the ones off the coast, off the rocks, anywhere, in the subtropical and tropical areas, all over the planet. So it's not just restricted to some areas obviously in Australia, but overseas as well. But if you're looking for like where I was fishing little creeks leading into the main section of the saltwater system, and they were rife with just trevally, just what you see in Sydney, except that they were the giant trevally species. They look just like that with that domed cupped head. But I must say, they look a bit different. They've got those little dark spots on the flanks as well. So that's how you can really tell that they're juveniles. In terms of the pulling power, I'd say that, yeah, they're pretty strong. I mean, I would say that they haven't quite, they're not in their final form, so to speak. So not ridiculously powerful, but yeah, definitely powerful enough to pull string. And they're pretty good in structure, I must say. Jorge says, sip of water. You know what? Let's just do that. Thanks, Jorge. It's like being a Formula One driver. The engineer says, make sure you drink, suck on the straw, because as a driver, you're always 110% focused. You just get dehydrated throughout the race. And yeah, just like this podcast. Let's go. Jorge says he'd been red in the cheeks by the end of every shout. True. Anthony says, I saw a guy fishing for redfin at Manly Dam in a video. Yeah, definitely plenty there. I've fished Manly Dam, caught redfin. You gotta walk a bit. I tried fishing on top of that really high bridge and also around the side. And then there was a little section, if you keep walking around to the back where there's like a bunch of lily pads there. I can't remember what I called redfin there, or it was bass. There are Australian bass in there as well. The jet skis were going ham that day, unfortunately, though, as you would expect in the summer months, which was when I was there. Michael says totally would. Three beers in would be quite an entertaining show. Like I'm more than entertaining enough with just water. Thanks, Michael. Appreciate the support. The friendly moderator on the show here tonight. DJ's going to Wentworth Falls. Yeah, absolutely. Redfin there. Trout as well. Destroy Boy says, Christopher says should do another meet and greet. I think that is. Yeah, once I've been talking about it for a while. Definitely got to get that happening. I know people have been asking me about it. I really want to do it. Just got to wait till it's safe. It's it's getting there. We're getting there. Normality is resuming. As the months pass, so keep an eye out for something like that. I have that at the top of my to-do list. Jorge says, redfin are easy, mate. Just got to find them, throw any lure at them, and you'll be in luck. Yeah, absolutely. That's been my experiences. That one time when I was up at Oberon Dam, I was with a bunch of mates. I think we got, I don't know the exact number, but think of a cricket score, a good Australian Test cricket batsman, how much he would get, and that's how many we caught amongst all of us. So plenty of fun, a bit of a mini competition, and also these are introduced species. So yeah, don't feel bad if you keep a few for a feed. Apparently they're really good on the plate, good on the chew. Zach says Central Coast fishing anytime. Yeah, I think might head back up that way this summer. Keep an eye out for a vlog up that way. Andrew says I'm going up north near Coffs Harbour, Southwest Rocks next week, and I can maybe get my first kingies soon. Now I'm not so sure on the distribution and the habitat of the kingfish being so far north, but yeah, definitely in Sydney now's the time. If anyone that's hoping for their first kingfish, they're not going to be turned off by this rain so much, especially in all the main areas that you would normally expect them, which would be east of the Sydney Harbour Bridge or in Botany Bay, along the runways and further east there. It's not going to deter them. In fact, it might even bring them on the bite. So, hacking also. Hacking's almost like the home of the kingfish. It's awesome. So anywhere off Cronulla, absolutely. Just you can use lures, you can spin metals, and you guys all know, out of all the baits that I've tried, fresh squid, if you can send her down live, the best presentation, the best bait by far, bar none inshore. And squid strips do the damage too. And if you can't get live squid, go get some yakkers. If you get slimy mackerel, probably a little bit better than your yellowtail scad, but your yakkers, you're in with a good shot with a live bait. Anything that's kicking gets their attention. Up north at Coffs Harbour, I think they get a lot of really nice exotic species off the coast, and inshore you're getting mangrove jacks and such. All right, let's keep going down. Yeah, it says, any good fishing spots in Narooma, New South Wales? I'm thinking of crossing the bar with my dad. Oh yeah, so have you crossed the bar before? Because I've seen some videos. There's some really notorious bars, and that's probably a good question. Good question for this, at least for this theme of this podcast, because we're talking about boating and boating safety, and maybe keep that question in the back of your mind. We'll ask Mike what he thinks about that and how the Deckee app can help there. But yeah, I've seen a lot of bloopers, people crossing bars with their boats, and they're getting airborne. All right, Let's keep going down. We got 5 more minutes. Bunch more questions. Let's pump it in. Hope you guys enjoying the show. If you are, hit the like button. As I always say, smash that like button. Where are we looking here? Where was we? Anthony Cox says work there in gulp crabbies very slow like a bait. Oh yeah, absolutely. Gulp crabbies. Some people say if you can't catch a brim on a gulp crabby, you can't fish because those lures are that deadly. So I kind of classify anything in the gulp range just as almost like a separate entity compared to your traditional petrochemical soft plastics. These things are almost like bait. Even if you just dead stick them in the water, there's something's going to go there and have a chomp and take a piece out of that. Oh, we got we'll quickly go through this one. Jorge says, come on guys, I want to see a new member join tonight. Beers up. Oh, Jorge, you're just really working overtime there. If we get one, we get one. That would be good. We get one more unlock for an emoji. If we don't, man, you've done more than enough, Jorge. I'll definitely have a few beers after this stream on your behalf because yeah, you're a legend. All right, let's go find the next question here. 197 not out. Not that many redfin, Andrew. That would be like that would be the session to end all sessions. Ahmed, he's a regular on the channel. Ahmed ASAP says, how you going, Shroom? Pretty good. I didn't have any coffees or Red Bulls or mothers today, but I sound like I've had about 5. But yeah, that's because I'm excited for, the next bit of this podcast. So stick around. Couple more minutes of me yapping on. Horror intensity, density, regular here says Horror 877. The power is too brown at the moment. The water is too muddy and brackish, especially around Meadowbank and towards power. Oh, ain't that not that's not the truth. Intensity. It looks bad, but last time this happened, aka Mike's Fishing, you guys know him. He was smashing the brim around that area and further north too. He was absolutely annihilating them like 40 centimeter, 45 centimeter every single night. And I couldn't get down. I couldn't get down at the hours that he was down there. He caught jewfish, all kinds of quality fish. So yeah, the water looks bad, but the fish can tolerate a bit of that. The only thing I think is if there's so much rain that it's like flooding the system, and the tide is supposed to be flowing in, but it actually looks like it's running out, that's when there's too much fresh water. That means there's just so much fresh water coming down from, the houses, the drains, the rivers, from the mountains, that it doesn't matter that the tide should be flowing in. It's that fresh water canceling it out. But if I don't see that, I reckon the harbor just eats it up. Georgia's a little bit different. I find the depth of that system not too deep. So yeah, it can't really handle too much fresh, unfortunately. So, but that could be an excuse. I fish the Georges quite a bit, so I always like to point the finger if I can't pull up a fish when it's been raining, even if it's been 3 weeks since the rains. You got that excuse. You got that card that says, "Oh yeah, it's a rain. It's not my fault. It's not my skill. It's everything else but me." All right. One more question here. Guys. So let's find one here. So make sure you smash the like button. Let's see. Let's just find a good question here. Okay. Last question from KLFB. Is a 4,500 reel too big for soft plastics? The answer is no. With a 4,500 reel, yeah, that would be too big for your brim fishing and everything else. But maybe you're trying to catch kingfish in really, really rough terrain, and all you can do is literally just lock up and just cast the plastic in with like 80 pound or whatever pound you're using. Say you're fishing like a sunken yacht or something, and you're like, say you're jigging, or maybe you're just dropping a plastic down, teabagging it over the wreck. 4,500 wouldn't be too big then. You're just tucking it under your arm, right? So you don't really even have to cast. All right, guys, that's it. That's gonna be it for this section. So I'm still gonna be talking. I'm still gonna be here, but we're gonna bring on the guest right now. So give me a couple of seconds to make this happen. I'm just gonna change the look of this show. And yeah, guys, while I'm at it, you guys can talk amongst yourselves, as I always encourage you to do. And yeah, if this is the first time you're here, make sure you subscribe and hit the like button. It really helps me out. So let me just get rid of that chat. Get that comment out of the way. And yeah, we'll bring in the guests now. So we'll just check and see everything's fine. There we go. We have Mike.
How you going, mate?
Not too bad, Mike. So hope you're enjoying enjoying all the dribble that I've had to say tonight so far, and just to lead you into the conversation and get you into the mood to talk without lumping too much pressure in. How's your day been? It's been a pretty wet one. Have you been busy today?
I actually went and saw a Christmas movie with a 5-year-old girl, so it's been an absolute ripper.
That sounds like fun.
I've just been enjoying myself in the green room here. There's so many delicious drinks and nibblies here, so thanks so much for putting that on for me.
Not a problem, Mike. Not a problem. So we've known each other for quite a while now, and I've I've been very happy to be an ambassador for Deckee. I really believe in their message, and it's a free app, so it can only be good. It's not something that people here in the chat have to open their wallets for. But for those that don't know anything about you, for example, or Deckee, I'd like you to just have a few words and explain to the folks watching now, who you are and what you're about.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I can do that. I just want to say first is that it's so impressive what you're doing. You've got so much, like the knowledge that you have is amazing. And the fact that you're sharing it, so openly with everyone is so awesome. And really, really proud to have you as an ambassador for Deckee. And let's figure out how we can help, continue supporting your videos and what you do, because, I think it's brilliant. And, the enthusiasm that you have and the dedication that you have for it, it's so good to see. So thanks a lot,
Mike.
So much for having me on.
I really appreciate those kind words, and it's my absolute pleasure to have you on. Yeah, I'm really stoked about this show. This is one that I've been really excited about for a long time.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, look, I can start anywhere you like, but Matt, I don't know how quick is the chat response? Is there many people that? Can we ask how many people have Deckee already and check the temperature of the room to see how familiar everyone is with the app?
Yeah, we could do that, Mike. I'll tell you what we could do. While you're speaking, I can put up a poll right now and just see how many people.
Let's do that. But while you're doing that, maybe I can sort of explain a bit about what Deckee is and why we're doing what we're doing. So to put it simply for everyone here, we're trying to build the very best app in the world for anyone that's spending time on the water. So we talk about Deckee a lot as a boating app, but it's important for everyone to understand it's for anyone that's looking to do anything on the water. So that's boating, fishing, sailing, stand-up paddle boarding, kayaking, the lot. There's a utility in it for everybody, and it will always be free. That's the really exciting thing. So our plan is to continually, and if you've been following Deckee for a while, you'll know that we update the app pretty regularly and frequently with new features and updates. And our plan is to continue doing that until the app does everything that you could possibly want in an app if you're spending time on the water, and it will never cost anything. And the way that we can do that is because we work a lot with government and industry partners, because they've got no way of being able to distribute information out to the public at the moment, which is really important for safety reasons. And we're able to provide them with a platform for that through Deckee in the form of alerts and notices and things like that. So, that's the way that we work as a business, and it means that we can keep building the very best possible app for free for everyone. So it's a really nice win-win situation.
Yeah, I think that that's one thing that has caught my attention. It's got all these things all in the one neat package, and even if I'm not watching, say, the impending hailstorm that's coming over from the west, Deckee is going to send me that notification, and I'm going to think, oh, okay, where have I parked? Is that going to be a problem? Should I get out of here? Should I can my session now and not get struck by lightning? I think that's really really good. I don't know if there's any other apps that I've had so far that's just told me. I've always had to look it up
Look,
to
like
get. Yep.
the app does quite a bit now, but like what we'll be releasing over the next year or so, like it's just going to get so much better. There's so many really exciting things in the pipeline. And I'm sure there's many people that use a bunch of different apps at the moment for when they're heading out on the water. But step by step, Deckee will start to replace all of those into the one app, but not making it super like confusing or overwhelming to use. Like there'll always be a big focus on keeping things really simple and usable at the same time. So we're super passionate about this. Like Deckee's built, primarily here in Newcastle. I've made a special trip into our office tonight. It's a short drive from my place. So we built it here. It's we've got a growing team at this point in time. So there's some exciting things on the way.
Yep. So firstly, I'm going to refer back to the results of the poll. So far,
Yeah,
from what I
right.
can
Cool.
see, we have 75% of the people watching have said they have not downloaded the Deckee app.
Perfect.
So
All
this
right.
would be
We
the perfect
can hopefully
opportunity
convert some people.
to bring in the QR code. So I think
Yeah,
people
cool.
wanna
Yeah, that's awesome.
if people are interested in checking out this app and it sounds like something that is a useful tool, which it's definitely a useful tool and it's free, guys. So even if you just want to check it out and you don't, you decide it's not for you, it's free to have a look and see if there's anything there that might interest you. That's the QR code. You can grab your smartphones now, scan that code, and it should take you straight to the download. And then you guys can, have a play around with it because Mike, I think you're going to be showing us how it works, right? The app and how we can best use it. So personally, for myself, I have the app, but I use it on a very elementary level. So I don't
Yeah,
believe I'm really using it to its utmost capabilities. And like you said, you're always looking to develop it and improve its features and functions and listen to the feedback from the users. So it's always evolving. So I'm really interested in seeing that a little bit later.
yeah, absolutely. I can run everyone through some of the key features, but maybe just like to give people a sense of where we're at the moment, right? So we've got over 200,000 people have downloaded Deckee at this point. Quite a lot of them are in Australia. So when you think about there's roughly just shy of 1 million registered recreational boats in Australia. That's like what roughly 1 in 5 people actually have the app now, which is we're definitely getting the word out there. And Deckee is actually the officially endorsed boating app in several states in Australia, which is really important to point out. So in New South Wales, Western Australia, and Tasmania, so far, Deckee is the officially endorsed and recommended app in those states for anyone that's heading out on the water. So we've got a lot of really exciting momentum there with the level of support that we get from the authorities, and we're hoping to extend that into other states as well. And we even just launched Deckee in the United States as well. So we're doing some pretty exciting things over there with some of the key industry organisations, and we're starting to see the community grow in a few of the states in the US too.
Yeah, so that's been rather new. So it's been Australia wide for most of its life, and now it's heading over to the States. That's got to be extremely exciting.
It is. We've got there's been a super. There's so much work that's gone into it, but we're now integrating data sets from the US Coast Guard, for example, aids to navigation and notices to mariners for anyone that's got a boat and spends time on the water. Hopefully, you know all about those things. So yeah, we've done a whole lot of work there to bring in a lot of official navigational information into the app in a really easy to use format, but making it completely free. So it's a bit of a game changer.
Yep. Yes, most certainly. Now, I really have been hanging to this. Or my all week I've been thinking about just seeing this app in action. Really, seeing it from the person that
Sure.
knows it best. do we have a way to show people how to best utilize this app at this stage?
Yeah, definitely. How about I'll share my screen, hey, because what I can do is I can, for anyone that's sitting at their computer, you can also use Deckee in your browser as well. So it's not just a mobile app. You can actually play around with, a lot of the functionality that's in the mobile app on your computer as well. So jump over to the Deckee.com website if you like, and you can play with it yourself. But how about I bring up my screen, Shroom, if you like.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, go ahead, do that. I'm just going to go through the chat and just say hi and read out some comments while you're at it. So
For
Jorge
sure.
says drinks and nibbles ? I want to be in that green room. Haha. Yeah, that's right. Come on one day. El Hadj is here. He says, hey guys, another regular on the channel. Michael German says don't have it. And there's a few other people that say they don't have it, but they're downloading it now. So who's downloading it? Jorge's downloading it now. Yeah, he says downloading it now. Let's keep going down. Who else is downloading it now? John D says just downloading it now. Thanks. Intensity Density downloading it now. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate the support. John D says his location is way off. I'm not sure about that one. Captain Salty Bone says, hey, Shroom, loving the content. Thanks, mate. Hit the like button if you're enjoying the show. And yeah, lots in store coming up. Muhammad Barbour, he's here, says, what's up, Shroom? Muhammad, we're talking about Deckee right now. We've got Mike McKiernan from Deckee here talking to us how best to utilize this free application that's going to be applicable to all boaters Australia-wide and also internationally. And he's just about to load on some things and show us how best to use the app like a professional, unlike me. So I think I can see it right there on the screen now. I'm just going to put that up for you guys. So just bear with me for a second. There we go. That looks good.
How good's that? Live demo.
That looks good, Mike. So what are we looking at? I'll ask you to explain to the folks what's going on here.
Yeah, for sure. So just to be clear for everyone watching on, this is streaming from a computer, not the mobile. So you'll actually see some extra functionality in the app, which is around being able to record your activity when you're out on the water. So the same way that a lot of people might use, Strava, for example, if you're going for a run or a cycle and you can record your activity and save it to your log, you can do the exact same thing for whenever you're heading out on the water for, whether you're fishing or sailing or boating, you can save all that activity. So you'll be able to see that in the app as well. But I can't demo that for you here through the computer. But what we're looking at here is, so you can see we're on the main map home screen at the moment of the app, and just looking here at Sydney Harbour. So the default way that you would use the app is by exploring the map to see your local area or any areas that you might be planning on visiting in the future. And you can see a ton of different types of markers, and there's actually the ability for you to turn on and off any different types of markers that you like. But
right, I thought for a sec I was going to ask you, are these like spot X's where your secret fishing spots are?
Yeah, so a lot of this stuff is kind of like, think of it like points of interest, right? So it could be anything from like, you can see here, this is an emergency mooring, and this is an example of how we're able to work with the maritime agencies as well. So in this instance, with Transport New South Wales and New South Wales Maritime, we can display the official, positions of all the moorings, the public moorings that are available. You'll see the actual source of the information as well. If you jump on any of these other ones, you can see, this is a public wharf, a jetty or a landing. We've got all the different marinas and locations in here as well. There's so much, but as we start to browse around, like, pause me on anything that you want to know more about. But you can even see here, this is an actual speed zone. So we've even got speed zones in the app as well. You can see these red safety notices that we have. These are actual official notices to mariners. So for anyone that's maybe I can sort of explain what they are if you like, Shroom. It's
yes, go ahead. That'd be great. I think everyone. I'll just read one comment first. So thanks, Jorge, for the donation. And Alf Torre has said, really appreciate the opportunity to see Mike show off his creation. Absolutely had to put that comment up. Yeah, take it away, Mike.
Yeah, well, look, and just on that point, it's certainly not just me, right? There's a very talented team of guys and girls that are behind what Deckee is doing, and I'm just happy I can I can show off their hard work. So this is certainly not all my work. It's a team of very talented people. But just coming back to this notice for mariners that you can see on the screen here. So the notices for mariners, for anyone that's not aware of them, I suppose. They're the official corrections to the hydrographic charts, which are published by the hydrographic offices around the world, and they're actually telling you official changes to the official hydrographic charts. And like we've done surveys, for instance, on the Deckee community, and so many people either don't know where to find these notices at the moment, or they don't even know what they are, which is a really concerning thing when we're talking about official safety information out on the water. And it's because it's just so hard to find. Like you've either got to be subscribed to different mailing lists on government websites, you've got to download PDFs, or try and find these links that are buried somewhere. And what we're able to do is show them on the map. Like we're able to show them in a map-based format in a way that you can actually click on it, learn more about it, understand what you need to know and what you need to do. So we're completely sort of changed the way that people are able to consume and access that essential safety information, which is quite exciting. There's is there a particular spot that maybe we should check out? I can jump to another waterway if you like.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the Sydney Harbour system. Let's have a look at the Georges, the Botany Bay system. I think that would be good.
Choose a location, any location.
So you type in.
Well, how about I bring up Botany Bay and that'll take us down there like that. There we go. So here's just another example of the zones that we have in the app, right? So if you zoom in on here, you can see that this particular area here is actually restricted area, which you can't enter if you're on a boat out on the water.
So down below there, the reason I brought up Botany Bay is that some people keep asking me, can I fish next to that wharf just below where you were looking at? That oil wharf. And you can see there's an exclusion red zone, guys. So I'm not stopping you from going into there. I think it's 200 meters. You're not able to get anywhere near within 200 meters of that spot.
That's right. So and here you go. Here's your marker, Shroom. So that's that's
me.
Perfect, right?
That's me in the middle of the bay.
Another thing we've got in the app, right, is with the Deckee ambassadors, which Shroom's one of, and we've got several others now and joining the ambassador ranks, and we aim to set up an ambassador story marker so people can actually follow the Deckee ambassadors when they're out on the water. So we can actually open up Shroom's story here and see a video of where he was at and what he was up to and that type of thing. So we're starting to create more of a community component to Deckee as well, so everyone can start to connect and share information with one another as well, which is quite exciting. Maybe I can maybe I might jump over to the weather and show everyone that if you like.
Yep.
So on this next tab here, you can see it's pulled up the Hunter River, which is where I am right now. But we've got a really detailed, comprehensive weather dashboard in the app. It's weather sourced from the Bureau of Meteorology, so it's all the same information that you'll get in the BOM app, for example, but it's all in Deckee for you. And you can even see here now we've integrated the BOM weather warnings into the app as well. So we'll now send you a push notification alert. You mentioned that before.
Yeah, that's what I've relied on. So I always check up BOM for the detailed weather reports. Now it's all in here along with their alerts.
That's it. So, you can open up these marine wind warnings, which you'd typically see from the BOM, and we actually summarize all that information for you here in the dashboard, and we'll send you push notifications as soon as they're published too. So, but there's so much stuff in here, right? And, you can see all the current conditions at the particular spot. We've got the outlook for the week. We've got the temperature. All these are on sliding graphs too. So you can actually sort of scan ahead and easily sort of see where things are changing. You've got the wind, also the swell. You can see this particular weather station I'm at doesn't take swell, but when we don't show you the swell at a particular spot, we'll show you the next closest weather stations, which can give you a swell reading. So you can easily just jump to the closest spot. We've got the tides in here, which is, might be quite interesting for your audience here. This is available for virtually anywhere in the country. Rainfall. We've even got the moon phases in there. So there's so much. And if you hit this button here in the top right corner, you'll see it's a little settings button. You can actually customize the weather to be exactly how you like it.
Okay. Yep.
So you can change, the temperature, the measurement units, the wind speed, the swell, the tide. You can even customize the order of all of the different widgets in the weather section and turn on and off things that you are and aren't interested in.
Yep.
There's so much you can do.
The units, for example, if say someone wanted it in, I don't know, a different unit.
Yeah, so I mean, we've currently got these different units here. So for wind, swell,
So you've
and
got
tide,
the wind speed. Okay.
Yep. Change the wind speed. Change to feet for tide and swell. We've got the Fahrenheit in there for our US community as well. You can even, this top setting here, which is an interesting one, because we find that so many people just use Deckee for the weather, first and foremost. So you can actually hit that switch, and when you open up Deckee, it will always show you the weather by default instead of having to navigate to the weather section, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
So yeah, that's a bit of a summary of all the different weather information which is available. I'll keep going, but jump in at any time, Shroom, I suppose, if you like.
Oh, this is really interesting. I think the viewers are finding this really helpful. I mean, they can all play around with it, but it's so much better when someone that knows where everything is showing them that's here and that's where you can access that. And yes, you can change units. You can click on the exclusion zones. You can find out that no, you cannot moor there next to the runway within X amount of meters, or the oil rig wharf, etc., etc. It's all those things are really useful that when you're on the water, you just don't know if you don't really look into it. So it's all there in front of you in a map.
Yeah, and this is the part which people will be able to test themselves when they're next out on the water, where you can record your trips that you take. And this is kind of like the logbook section, which we call My Trips. But what you can see here, I've got a bunch of different test trips that we've been doing as we do all of our testing and so on in my account. But you can see at the top here, we actually start to surface some stats too. So you can see how many nautical miles you've done out on the water. You can see the total trip time, so how much time you've spent out on the water, your average speed, and then you can even filter that by the year and by the month. So we're starting to pull together a lot of stats for people as well, which is pretty cool.
A question that viewers might have is, what's Mike's awesome trip?
Oh, who knows? It'd probably be some kind of test trip that we were doing when we were testing. There you go. Look, I'm driving up and down the road near our office, testing some accuracy. But what I will do, I can show you. Check this one out, right? So here's a time that we actually did we took some kayaks out on pit water. There we go. So this is kind of an example of an actual trip out on the water, right? So you can see this is the return leg, which I recorded, but you can see it covers the nautical miles we did. I was going a blistering 2.1 knots on the kayak. It was a 2-hour paddle, so it was a pretty good one. We can even sort of take notes on the trips that you record as well. So you might want to sort of save a bunch of sort of take down some details about what you did.
Saw shark fins around the island. We'll avoid next time.
That's it. So you can see here, like, exactly, like, we took off from this particular spot here in Brooklyn, went around the headland, and we ended up we actually went and visited a little waterfall over here in Refuge Bay in Pittwater, which was awesome. So yeah, that's a bit of a look at how the trip logging functionality works. But when you're actually on a trip, we'll show you in real time, your forward-facing direction. We'll show you how fast you're going, how long you've been out on the water, all that type of stuff. So we kind of give you the real-time, like, situational awareness sort of view as to what's going on.
Yep. Now, before you go on, Mike, I just want to read out a couple of comments. Firstly, Nathan Land Based Fishing says, "Awesome podcast, dude. Thank you very much. It's always nice also having a guest. Mike McKiernan is really putting on a good show, an informative one here too." And Peter, I was going to say Peter McKinnon, Peter Kenyon says, "Do you show the inshore zone to offshore zones on the map?"
Mate, it'd be good if if you could elaborate there, but I suppose he's talking about potentially speed zones or
I think he's talking about the 2 kilometer or 2 nautical mile limit where you're classified as being actually offshore on a boat and you need the EPIRB and all those other essentials.
Got it. Yeah, that's super interesting because we don't have that. What we do show, is you can see here that we're up in Port Stephens now. You can see the actual speed zones which are official, and you can definitely see the perimeters of those. But we won't actually. That's an interesting feature suggestion. I like it. We're like, and that's one thing, right, with Deckee is that we have a bit of a focus around safety. And there's a good reason for that. Like, and hopefully a lot of people are aware of this, but there's been this massive surge in interest in being out on the water, like the last couple of years, especially since COVID and so on. There's so many more people getting out on the water now. There's so many new people getting out on the water, doing all different kinds of things, and it's great to see. But at the same time, there's been this big surge in accidents and fatalities as well, and that's not just in Australia; it's around the world. So, like, giving people the information that they need to stay safe is super important. And the way that everyone's using apps these days, right, for virtually everything. So it makes complete sense to make that information available to people in an app and also make it available for free. Because we've kind of got this saying that we have amongst the Deckee team, which is your safety shouldn't be a subscription. And what that means is, like, every so many of the different apps out there that you can get for the water, most of them are pretty much charging you some kind of monthly cost to access different features and information. We're kind of the opposite of that. We think that shouldn't be the case, and that you shouldn't have to pay to get access to this type of stuff. So, that's something that I can say hand on heart is that we'll never change that. And we also, as you can probably see here with this demo, is that we don't have any ads in the app as well. There's no banner ads and stuff like that which pop up and annoy the crap out of you. We don't do any of that either. We're just focused on making the very best app for everybody.
Yep. So are we able to find Scratchy's secret fishing spots here?
Oh, let's see. Hey, I know he did have he did share his story marker out here recently, but he does spend a lot of time around Broughton, that's for sure.
Broughton Island, yeah, that's right. Broughton Island snapper.
Here's another interesting one. We've actually got we're constantly integrating more information, but we've actually got webcams as well. So wherever we try to integrate a lot of webcam live streams for different areas around the coast. So we've actually got them at bar crossings. Someone mentioned bar crossings earlier. We'll try and
down at Narooma. Yep.
Yeah. Well,
I think we should head down there next.
Yeah, for sure. We can take a look at that. I'll bring it up. Spell correctly. Holy dooly. So, that's boom right there. You can see we've got the webcam integrated, and that'll actually, it'll actually link you out to the official New South Wales webcam stream. So we don't have it, unfortunately, embedded into the app in this instance, but the idea is let's make it quick and accessible as possible for anyone that's heading out. And here's another example, right? For the mention of bar crossings, we've actually got bar crossing markers as well, which can contain official information and guidance. It can contain crowdsourced information too. And that's probably one really handy thing to point out as well, Shroom, is that this big orange button that we've got in the corner, that's anyone in the community can add information and knowledge to the map. So we've got a big like crowdsource component of Deckee, and I can, for demonstration purposes, I can stick a marker here, and then I'm able to choose from a ton of different type of markers. So I might want to, here's an interesting one. We've even got a marine life marker where we could say that here's a spot where is particularly notorious for marine life which appear, or
Yeah, like the weedy sea dragon or whatever it is that's endangered.
that's right. Yeah, or everything from we've even got snorkeling spots, for example. So anyone can add photos and information to the map, and that's able to be seen by everyone immediately. And the people can also curate the information as well. So if someone comes across an outdated marker, for example, or something that needs updating, or it's a duplicate, people have got the ability to flag those markers and report them as well. So it's kind of like this living, breathing map too, which is really cool. So it's got like all the official information, but it's also
Yep.
got lots of knowledge from the community, which is great.
Now, Walker2508 has a question. He says, "What are the red star icons on the map?"
Yeah, so these are the aids to navigation. For the people that aren't familiar, aids to navigation, they're virtually the traffic lights of the ocean, right? Or the waterways. So they're all the lights and markers that are telling us where we can and can't go, and where we should and shouldn't go. And in New South Wales, we haven't it's next on our to-do list is to make these ones interactive. So currently we display these, but you can't click on these ones in particular at the moment. But what I will do is I'll bring up Western Australia, because we recently did this in WA, right? So we're looking at in the Swan River at the moment. You can see here, when I click on some of these navigation aids here in Western Australia, it'll actually tell you the type of light and marker that it is out on water. And the equivalent of this is looking at the hydrographic charts and trying to make sense of them. And we were just sort of talking about before how many new boaters are coming out on the water in recent times, and it's quite easy to get a boat license these days, right? You can sit through a one-day course, which is half theory, half practical, and then you're out there. You're pretty much qualified to be on the water, and it takes time to know this stuff, right? Like,
Absolutely.
there's so much to learn, and without a utility like this, giving you the information that you need, it can be pretty daunting and confusing. So that's what it's all about, is trying to bring in all these data sets that were previously like hard to make sense of or hard to access, and turning them into something that's quite usable.
Yep.
I'll show off some other stuff if you like too, Shroom.
Yes, go ahead.
We've got this might be interesting for people. Here's some test alerts again that I've been mucking around with, but we've got a reminders section in the app, right? So this can be for any kind of, virtually anything that you might want to set an expiry date for or a reminder for. And the initial idea that we had was, people really struggle to remember when all of their safety equipment needs servicing or is expiring. So we set up a way that you can add the service dates or the expiry dates for flares and life jackets and EPIRBs and all that kind of stuff. And then we realized, hey, we may as well expand it to do things like your license and your registration. And even, now we've even added things like when your next anti-foul on your boat might be due, or life raft certification. Like, there's so many different things here now that we have, and you can even just create a custom one. So you might want to add in someone's birthday, for all I know.
Grease the ball bearings,
absolutely, whatever it is, right? But what this does is that when you set the date, Deckee will actually send it'll send you a push notification. It'll also send you an email notification as well when that date rolls around. But we'll do it 7 days before the date that you've actually set. And the reason is that if your life jacket, is due for a servicing on the 1st of January, you don't want to be finding out on the day.
Yeah,
it's too
that's
late
true.
then. You need to know in advance, right? So
Yep.
we've set it up so that we're giving people a bit of warning when things are due to be looked at. So that's another handy thing in here for everyone to uh, get familiar with too, I suppose.
Yeah.
Another section. I mean, there's so much stuff, but we've got because I'm situated in New South Wales. I can see the official safety information portals for the New South Wales Maritime. So
Yep.
we display all the official links and information in Deckee as well. So it's kind of like a bit of a shortcut for all the official resources too. And if you're in Queensland or WA or in the US, you'll see different information portals. So we'll show you the stuff that's relevant to where you are. The list goes on, mate. I could probably talk for a long time, but happy happy for you to tell me where to go next.
Are there any other features that you think the audience here would like? Well, guys, in the chat, is there anything that you think that Mike hasn't covered yet that the app may have addressed? I guess that might be. There's so many people here. There's definitely ideas out there, and if
That's
it
what
does
could be
coincide with
cool.
the feature, we can
That,
get one more
that's
feature
what could be
explained to
cool,
us.
Shroom, is if we possibly if we asked everyone that's listening in, I'd love to hear any ideas people have. We've got a list of like 100 things that we want to do, right? But
Yep.
it's always surprising to hear the different types of things that come up. As people start to explore their app and get their own ideas. I'd be
Yep.
super keen to see if anyone's got some things that they might want to see in Deckee.
Yeah, so if anyone has any ideas on any features that may be relevant to this app, put it down in the comments section now, and that would be good just to see what other people can come up with. Now, Peter Kenyon says, "My reminders is a great point to the app. Can you get depths of the water on the app like Navionics?" Oh yeah, that's definitely got to be a really common question.
It's a very common one, and it's often talked about amongst the Deckee team. Depths, or the bathymetric data, to be more technical, it's the last frontier, really. So it's on our product roadmap. It will be coming. You won't have to pay for it. So hopefully, once we've got that happening, you can say goodbye to your the paid subscription wherever you might be sending your dollars at the moment. We are working on that. It's a huge amount of work, but it's a super important thing to have. Fortunately, we've got like the really detailed high resolution satellite maps, which are really handy in a lot of cases. But we are very mindful that depths is a very popular thing, and it will be coming.
Absolutely. So that's in the pipeline, but it's a bit further down the road, just due
Yeah,
to the amount of things you have to get in place to get that happening.
we'll see that next year, along with a bunch of other stuff. One other thing which is really cool, I can share a bit of insight on, is that we're working on a bunch of community features right now as well. So we'll actually be setting up a way that people can create groups in Deckee. So Shroom, you could have a Shroom group. You could have the Shroom Club group, where everyone can actually join it. They can share what they're doing out on the water. And it'll be right alongside everything else that I've just shown everyone. So they're kind of like, in some ways, replicating a lot of what you would do in a Facebook group, for example, but actually bringing in the activity that people are doing in Deckee as well. So rather than having to jump between two different situations, you'll be able to do that in the one spot. So that's some exciting stuff that we're working on right now, which will hopefully be able to bring some different groups of people together, whether it's like could be a fishing club, or it could be you and your friends, or it could be a sailing crew. It could be anything. There's so many different applications for why you might want to create a group. So we're keen to see how that goes early next year too.
Yep. All right. Any ideas, guys, in the chat? Anything else you'd like to discuss? or anything you'd like to show us, Mike? Any further features or any other points you'd like to make? Like, I know you're busy today, so I don't want to keep you here too long.
How long have we been going? I don't even know.
I think about 40 minutes by yourself.
Yeah,
40
right.
minutes. Yep.
That went quick, hey? Yeah, look, I mean, if anyone's got any questions, like by all means, fire them away. But yeah, I mean,
Someone says Deckee Marketplace. I don't know what they mean by that.
I'd probably guess that John's talking about, the ability to buy and sell different things. So whether it's gear or equipment or even boats, there's you can pretty much take my word for it that we've left no stone unturned in terms of ideas for what Deckee could do in the future.
Selling boats, he said.
Yeah,
Selling
yeah,
boats.
totally.
Yeah.
The marketplace idea, it's not in the immediate plans. It's something that we may sort of look at, further into the future. But we're just so focused at the moment on creating that app for people when they're out on the water, when they're planning a trip, when they're out there in the thick of it. They need to have everything at their fingertips. So we're just focused on making that the very best experience that you can get.
Yep. Yeah, it sounds great.
What
Any
else?
further questions, guys, or comments? Any points? Anything that you've noticed about the app that you'd like to know more on, or suggestions, feedback, or even just feedback about the show that I'm putting up here? Always open to feedback on the Shroom Live podcast. You guys know that.
I've got a question for you, Shroom. What do you hope to do with your podcast? Like, what if you could have like waved the magic wand? Like, what would you love to see this podcast become? That's what I'd love to know.
Oh, okay. Well, I like it the way it is. I like hanging out. Originally, I thought that it's a good way to interact with the viewers and give up my time once a month, because on a video it's all pre-recorded, and yes, it's a fishing adventure, but they don't really get to know me too well and understand the person I am. But they all seem to want to see more content, but there's a X amount of hours that I can work on a new video. So I volunteer myself and my time on a Saturday night at a convenience to them. And I do sacrifice my Saturday nights to get this happening. So they can just ask me whatever they want. And I'm just here. I'm just at their service, if that makes sense. So I haven't really thought, beyond that. So if people are having a good time, that's what matters to me most. And if I can, give them a few tips and point them in the right direction and help them with their fishing or their boating or anything relating to that aspect that I may have some, potential positive influence on, then, I'm all for that. And that's kind of how I see it.
I'm excited to see what it can become, right? Like, I feel like you could easily grow this into something enormous that everyone tunes into, and especially with the amount of content that you're putting out all the time. I can't see it going backwards anytime soon. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it grows over the coming months and years. Who knows? Who knows what you'll be doing in a couple of years from now?
Thanks, Mike. Thanks a lot. And it's all due to the people that are here. I mean, they're all watching because they're here to support, support the show, support me, and they're here for a good time as well. Like like all of us, we're all fishing and boating nuts, so to speak.
Look, any other questions about Deckee? I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, I'm here as long as you want me to be here, Shroom.
All right, we'll answer a couple more, maybe at least one more, whatever questions come up. Peter again with another good question. With the Deckee app, do you show artificial reefs coordinates? So they just said that they were going to launch one off Sydney. I saw on the news yesterday or the day before.
Yeah. So I want to bring up an example of that.
Actually, it wasn't off Sydney. It was I think it was getting launched off Sydney, and then they were going to take it down south. I think it was, and I forgot the place.
Yeah. So we have what we call environmental zones. So we kind of group them all under that umbrella name. So that can be anything to do with fishery exclusion zones, protected habitat areas. We group them all under that umbrella term. I don't know where this might be some of them here that I was thinking about. This is up in Moreton Bay in Queensland. I just know that we've got, there we go. So you can see when you zoom in here, we start to reveal more information. And here's an example of our again, our aids to navigation, which you can tap on, and you can even see here, this indicates a special area, fisheries beacon. It's sourced directly from Maritime Safety Queensland. But if we click on this zone, so you can see the habitat protection area in this particular area is sourced from the Department of Environment and Science. And this is where there's so much. Sometimes I even forget how detailed some of the information is that we've got, but you can actually see here what is and isn't allowed in this particular zone. And the level of information that we've got for different zones varies depending on what the government agency publishes about those particular spots. But you can actually see, for instance, in this particular case, there's no trawling allowed in this habitat protection zone. So yeah, and again, like the level of information varies depending on what's made available by each of the states and each of the authorities around Australia. But they are in there, so get exploring.
Yeah. Well, we'll go another 5 minutes, just a couple more questions. I'll quickly give a shout out to Jorge. He says, I couldn't convince a new membership with my beer slightly too small, but I love you guys for turning up. So we're just trying to get one more member to unlock one emoji. Jorge's been working very hard. I really appreciate your unwavering support. What else could I say? You're just an asset to the channel, and thank you very much. And also to Anthony, these guys just keep dropping their money. They're really supporting the podcast, supporting me, and that's why I go to such lengths to do what I do, because you guys, I don't want to let you guys down. And a couple more questions. Mike's got to go very shortly, so hopefully he can fit this in. He says, what about, Chris M says, what about a help feature like the Maritime Rescue app?
I love what you're thinking, Chris. So it's actually a big topic, but Deckee has a fully ready and available search and rescue platform, which is integrated into the app. So what we've actually got available is we've got a log on, log off feature, which we can turn on and make available to people when we're working with a particular marine rescue agency in a particular state. So in the case of New South Wales, they've obviously got the official New South Wales Marine Rescue app, which is very worthwhile using and absolutely essential to do when you're out there. However, we do have that functionality available, whenever there isn't an app, which is the official one. It's absolutely on the radar. Sure, something I just realised too, mate, is that we didn't mention Fish Raider as well, and there is a strong.
Yeah, Donna's been in the chat the whole stream. I was just concentrating on my screen.
Right. Yeah, look, it's just worth pointing out that Fish Raider sort of became part of the extended Deckee family a couple of years ago now. So we decided that we were keen to link up that community to Deckee, and we've continued to keep it running independently and ad free and all that kind of stuff, and that will always be the case. But it's just worth pointing out that Deckee is keen to continue supporting that community, and the idea is that hopefully we can start releasing more and more features which appeal to at last more and more features which appeal to the fish raiders, and create an awesome experience for them as well. So much love to the Fish Raider crew.
Yeah. And one last question, Mike, and then we can finish up here. And the question is from Chris And he says, or what about a wind overlay feature on the actual map? So you can see wind speed and direction easily.
Yeah, so Chris is probably talking about apps like Windy, which are quite popular, which sort of visualize the weather conditions. It's a great suggestion, Chris. Again, like I said, virtually anything you could imagine, we've thought about. The problem that we have, which is a good one, is that we need to figure out what are the most important things out of all the important things. So we've got like the high priority features, and then we've got to figure out what are the higher ones. So all in good time is what I can say there. But yeah, it's a good suggestion and something that we have thought about.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in and thanks for joining us, Mike McKiernan from Deckee, the CEO from Deckee. It was a pleasure to have you on. I think everyone here really learnt about the app and they enjoyed the show. They can see the benefits in this, and even if they weren't here for the app, at least they were able to enjoy something on a Saturday night. Just being at home and just not having not had anything planned and just hang out with the old Shroom here. So I really appreciate everyone. Any last words you'd like to say, Mike, before I finish the show? I'll wrap it up.
Nothing at all, mate. I'm just again, I'm glad that we can support you as an ambassador, and let's keep doing that. We'll figure out more ways that we can do awesome stuff together, and all the power to you. I'm glad to see everything that's happening for you. So well done.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. All right, guys. So thanks for joining me on the Shroom Live podcast. Make sure you hit the like button. If you enjoyed the show, subscribe if this is your first time here. And if you wanted to catch the rest of it, or you missed out most of it because you've only joined in late, it's going to be up on the podcasts platforms, Spotify, Apple, Google, and all your other popular ones. So make sure to check that out. I'll be putting those up in the next day or so that you can listen to it, on the way to work on Monday, for example, if that's what you like, because I know a few people like that. Thanks to every single person that's joined in tonight. I mean, the concurrent viewers and also those viewers that have been popping in and out. There's always hundreds of you guys on all three places. 2 from Facebook and 1 here on the main place, which is on YouTube. So I really appreciate your support, just being here watching. It means everything. And also to those people, the Shroom Club members and all the donators tonight that just want to show an extra support. I really appreciate all that. It's why I'm being able to upgrade all my audio equipment and my streaming equipment. So thanks guys. And as I sign out, make sure you check this week's video that I put up on Thursday. I was using the Berkeley power bait power shrimp lures. Very fun adventure there. And as you guys know, every Thursday I'm going to drop another vlog. So I'll see you guys in the next vlog on the Thursday. Have a good night, everyone.